So Ellie, it's been a long journey all the way here to Everglades National Park. Over 3,000 miles driven, and we've been thinking about what we're going to do and see when we get here ever since before we left Montana. What do you think? Here we are.
Yeah, I think was most nervous about coming to Everglades because of stories of sharks and snakes and alligators, but I'm really excited to see this park. It feels like we're in another country. I feel like driving along this road and seeing the palm trees and the incredibly beautiful birds, and just the vegetation is so very different from where we live in Montana that it feels like we're at the end of the earth. So we also talked to a tour operator who allayed some of my fears about alligators. He said that they cannot run 35 miles an hour, nor can they climb trees.
Nor can they jump 18 feet horizontally.
Yeah. He said they're the most docile animals he's ever encountered. So that made me feel better.
And he also said that when he took us on the tour that he would be in front when we're wading through chest-deep water to go see this snake-infested chest-deep water. He would lead the front. So if anything was going to bite him, or if he was going to run into the alligators, it would be him that would do it, not us.
And I like that.
I like that too.
That's why we pay him money.
Yeah. We started our trip into Everglades National Park by visiting the Anhinga Trail. The Anhinga Trail is a short loop, and on that loop you can see several Anhinga birds like this one here. We also saw several white egrets and lots of little baby alligators. But this is our first glimpse of a big alligator just off the side of the trail.
Oh. They always look like they're smiling to me.
After surviving our first experience with an alligator on the side of the Anhinga Trail, we almost stepped onto a whole pile of them.
Makes me nervous. Oh, there's another one! That's a big one! Here it comes. Oh, I think they're everywhere. Holy mackerel!
What, baby?
They're right there.
Oh my gosh, they are right there.
Like a bunch of them. We have not been prepped on what to do in case of gator attack.
But here's a whole bunch of them surrounding us, essentially.
Yeah.
Look, there's one right here, too.
Oh, that's like the granddaddy gator. Oh.
Grandpa gator.
Maybe.
He's a little flashier, sweetie, so, you know. After our experience on the Anhinga Trail, we woke up early the next morning, excited to get back into the Everglades, paddling the 9-mile pond.
So here we are in 9-Mile Pond, which is a well-marked trail.
We hope it's well marked.
Well, here's one of the mile markers right there. Right now I'm not steering, it's all about Ranger Ben back there. And I don't know what kind of mangroves these are. There are black, red, and white mangroves in the park. So there's a marker right over there.
Paddling the pond was a great way for us to get a taste of the mangrove forests. The next evening, we paddled out onto Florida Bay for an incredible sunset. The colors were spectacular as we paddled around, and we could hardly bring ourselves to go back to the dock. We were glad we did, because right after dark, we saw a bunch of manatees in the water. The next morning we rose at sunrise for our tour with the Everglades Hostel. First we toured the Noble Hammock, moving through the tight mangrove forest. Our favorite part of the trip, though, was going through the Cypress Dome, where you're wading through knee-deep water with alligators and water moccasins around you. It was pretty scary, but also a lot of fun. Last thing we did in Everglades was to bike the tram loop.
We're on a 15-mile bike loop, and there's an observation tower at mile 7.5 where you get an 18-mile view of the valley, and you can look down into a little pond area where we saw some soft-shell turtles and Florida gar, and there's a nice breeze, which means you probably can't hear a word I'm saying, but let's hope.
Everglades National Park is an amazing place. In fact, it's a one-of-a-kind place. Allie and I feel like we just barely scratched the surface of this park. If we were to come back, which we hope to do, we'll be back in about April, and we'll try and canoe the 99-mile canoe trail, which starts in the northeast corner of the park and dumps you out into Florida Bay. It'd be a really great way of getting out into the wilderness, seeing lots of wildlife, and enjoying the mangrove forests as well as the bay.